Hello, today we're going to talk about Ferrero's journey to sustainable practices. When searching for companies' palm oil practices that we could talk about, we didn't only focus on companies that were attacked because of their practices, but we also looked at companies that were doing very good. After some research, one company stood out from the crowd, and that was Ferrero. So as we can see on the graph, in a WWF survey, Ferrero was judged to be a top performer among the companies making the most progress regarding unsustainable palm oil in their supply chain, ahead of big groups like L'Oreal, Mars, Nestle, Unilever, etc. Ferrero has been a member of the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil since 2005, and in 2013 they came out with their Palm Oil Charter, which is a public list of principles, mainly regarding conditions that their supplier must comply to. All of this to benefit the environment and also the communities working and living on palm oil farming land, notably in Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, and Brazil. So the Palm Oil Charter focuses on 10 main principles. The first one is providing fully traceable oil while including smallholders. They have to be able to trace palm oil ingredients back to the fruit. The second one is not clearing high carbon stock forests. Third one is not using fire to clear land to farm palm oil, not planting on peat soils, protecting orangutans and other endangered species, reporting on the greenhouse gas emissions and their production. So Ferrero's suppliers will have to annually report their progress regarding GHG emissions, respecting human rights, recognizing, respecting, and strengthening the rights of workers. So that's regarding the ILO convention. Not using paraquats, so a minimum use of chemical, and especially those that could harm people and the environment, and actually fighting corruption. So we looked at WWF's 2019 palm oil scorecard of Ferrero's, and it came out with a score of 21.5 out of 22. Now we're going to look at the problems that Ferrero encountered in this whole process.
In order to achieve the sustainable process, Ferrero faced some problems in this process, according to the case study created by Ferrero Company. The first problem is that it is difficult to find a large amount of palm oil, which needs to be highest quality, at the same time under the sustainable condition. Secondly, the goals of Ferrero are divided into several parts, which related to production, using technology, energy, material, and natural and water resources. How can the company measure performance in different areas? Secondly, since Ferrero operates in different countries, they might face some challenge from both geopolitical variable and multiple stakeholders. How can this company prepare for all the uncertainty and variable? Lastly, big company like Ferrero has this kind of trouble, which is transferring standard and manner. How can they keep a good relationship with their supplier and communicate with all smallholders to improve efficiency?
There are several challenges for Ferrero which are related to its products. The first one is the palm oil. Palm oil has been and continues to be a major driver of deforestation of some of the world's most biodiverse forests. There are complex issues that the whole palm oil sector needs to step up to address. The second one is sugar. Sugarcane production can also have a detrimental environmental impact, including loss of biodiversity and pollution of land and water. The third one is the cocoa. The average age of cocoa farmers in West Africa is 50 years, and the challenges they face include limited agricultural knowledge and poor access to equipment and resources. The fourth one is the hazelnuts. Risks in the hazelnut supply chain mainly relate to complex, systemic, and deeply ingrained challenges. These challenges involve the exploitation of people, be it any form of child labor or bond labor, as well as poor working conditions and inadequate accommodation for farm workers.
Okay, now I will tell you how Ferrero tried to build a green supply chain using the supplier code. To begin with, this code is not fixed. It will be updated and reviewed on a regular basis to reflect learnings from the journey of continuous improvement. This supplier code applies to all suppliers and focuses on three pillars that are strategically important for the Ferrero Group. First one, human rights and social practices. Ferrero requires suppliers care about the issues like child protection, fair wage, working rates. Suppliers shall recognize the human rights of children, such as the right to education, right to play, and right to basic needs. And suppliers shall provide all employees with a fair and competitive salary. Second, environmental protection and sustainability. Ferrero wants suppliers to focus on things such as low deforestation, low peat development, energy efficiency. For example, suppliers shall take appropriate steps to ensure their actions do not have any negative impact on forests, peatlands, and other protected territories of any depth. Next is supplier transparency. Suppliers shall actively engage their supply chain in order to increase transparency and traceability, and always be ready to provide Ferrero with the data and records. And more importantly, an integrity helpline is available to everyone in the supply chain. This is held by third party, and any question or issues could be reported within this immediately.
Comes to Ferrero's sustainability program, its 5Rs pillars must be mentioned. The 5R strategy focuses on the improvement work on packages aimed at reducing waste produced. First of all is renew, which means use of materials from renewable resources and avoiding the food chain. Secondly, recycle, which means use of recycled materials and materials with high recoverability at the end of life. The third one is reuse, which means development and implementation of solutions that can be employed for other use or reintroduced into the production cycle. Then remove, which means decrease in the number of packaging elements. The last one is reduce, which means reduction in the use of materials by lightening and reducing of over packaging and design optimization.
Hi, my name is Zihui Liu. In my part, I want to talk about palm oil program, which is a part of Ferrero Farming Value Program launched in 2013. This program aims to set up a green supply chain for palm oil. There are two main practices taken by Ferrero. First is to make sure 100% sustainable palm oil certified RSPOS segregated. And the second action is to map the source of production from all palm fruit plantation using IT system, working with TFT. The timeline for this action is in 2013, 75% palm oil would be certified, and at the end of 2014, 100% palm oil would be certified and fully digital traced by Ferrero Company. These practices make sure the production line avoiding from risk of deforestation. And my information is from Ferrero Sustainable Report from 2013 to 2016. Thank you.